Hold up, did you just hear that correctly? The government might be sending out $1,800 checks to millions of Americans in 2025, and you could be one of them. But here's the catch, not everyone is going to qualify, and the window to get on this list might be closing faster than you think. Are you already on the approved list? Or are you about to miss out on what could be the biggest direct payment program we've seen since the pandemic stimulus checks? If you want to stay updated on all the latest news about government benefits, stimulus payments, and financial assistance programs that could put money directly into your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update that could change your financial situation. Now, let's dive deep into what's really happening with these $1,800 payments because there's a lot of confusion out there, and I want to make sure you have all the facts. The reality is that several different programs are being discussed at both federal and state levels, and some of these could result in payments of $1,800 or more reaching eligible recipients throughout 2025. But which programs are we talking about, and how do you know if you qualify? First, let's talk about what's actually been approved versus what's still being proposed. Have you been keeping track of all the different stimulus and relief programs that have been floating around Congress lately? Because if you haven't, you might be surprised to learn that there are multiple initiatives that could result in significant direct payments to American families this year. Some of these are extensions of existing programs, while others are completely new proposals designed to address ongoing economic challenges. One of the most significant developments involves the expansion of certain tax credit programs that would be distributed as advance payments rather than waiting until tax season. Think about it, wouldn't you rather receive money throughout the year when you need it most, instead of waiting for a tax refund that might be months away? This is exactly what some lawmakers are proposing, and the amounts being discussed could reach $1,800 per eligible individual or even more for families with children. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is something most people don't realize. Are you aware that your eligibility for these payments might depend on factors beyond just your income level? While income thresholds are certainly important, some of these programs are also looking at employment status, family size, geographic location, and even whether you received certain benefits in previous years. This means that even if you didn't qualify for past stimulus payments, you might be eligible for these new ones. Let's break down what we know about the income requirements because this is where most people get confused. For many of these programs, the income limits are actually higher than what we saw with previous stimulus checks. Are you making less than $75,000 as a single filer? Or less than $150,000 if you're married filing jointly? If so, you're likely in the sweet spot for full payment eligibility. But even if you earn more than these amounts, you might still qualify for partial payments depending on the specific program and your exact income level. Now, here's something crucial that could affect millions of people. Did you know that some of these payments are specifically targeted at certain groups of workers or residents? For example, there are proposals for enhanced payments to essential workers, parents with young children, seniors on fixed incomes, and people living in areas with high costs of living. Are you part of any of these groups? Because if you are, your potential payment could be even higher than the base $1,800 amount. The timing of these payments is another critical factor that you need to understand. When exactly would you receive your money if you're approved? Unlike the pandemic stimulus checks that were distributed relatively quickly once approved, these new programs have different timelines. Some could start sending payments as early as spring 2025, while others might not begin until later in the year. The key is making sure you're properly registered and that the government has your current information. This brings up an important question that many people are asking. How do you ensure that you're on the approved list for these payments? The answer isn't as straightforward as you might think because different programs have different application processes. Some will automatically include people who filed recent tax returns, while others require separate applications or enrollment through specific government websites. Have you updated your information with the IRS lately? This is absolutely critical because if the government doesn't have your current address, bank account information, or contact details, you could miss out on payments even if you're fully eligible. Think about how many people missed stimulus payments in the past simply because they had moved and didn't update their address with the right agencies. Let's talk about the application process for programs that require it. Are you prepared to provide documentation about your income, employment status, and family situation? Some of these programs are going to require more detailed information than the simple tax return data that was used for previous stimulus payments. This means you might need to gather pay stubs, benefit statements, proof of residence, and other documents to verify your eligibility. One thing that's particularly important to understand is that some of these $1,800 payments are actually advance payments of tax credits that you would normally claim on your tax return. Do you know what this means for your taxes next year? Essentially, you'd be receiving money upfront that would otherwise come as a refund when you file your taxes. This can be beneficial because you get the money when you need it most, but it also means you need to plan accordingly for tax season. The political landscape around these payments is also something worth considering. With changing administrations and shifting priorities in Congress, are these programs actually going to survive the legislative process? While some have already been approved or are very likely to pass, others are still facing political challenges that could affect their final form or even whether they happen at all. State-level programs add another layer of complexity to this situation. Did you know that several states are implementing their own direct payment programs that could supplement or even exceed the federal amounts? States like California, New York, and others have been experimenting with their own stimulus and relief programs. If you live in one of these states, you might be eligible for both federal and state payments, potentially totaling much more than $1,800. Here's something that catches many people off guard. Are you required to pay taxes on these payments? The answer depends on the specific program and how the payments are structured. Some are designed to be tax-free, similar to the pandemic stimulus checks, while others might be considered taxable income. This is definitely something you'll want to understand before spending the money, so you're not surprised by a tax bill later. The verification process for these programs is also more sophisticated than what we've seen before. Are you prepared for enhanced identity verification requirements? To prevent fraud and ensure payments go to the right people, many of these programs are implementing stricter verification processes that might require additional steps beyond simply providing your social security number and basic information. For families with children, the potential payments could be even more substantial. Are you aware of the enhanced amounts available for households with dependents? Some programs are offering additional payments per child, which could push a family's total payment well beyond $1,800. However, these enhanced payments often come with additional requirements or different application processes. As we look ahead to the rest of 2025, it's clear that the landscape of government direct payments is evolving rapidly. Will you be ready when these programs launch? The key is staying informed, keeping your information updated with relevant government agencies, and understanding which programs you might qualify for based on your specific situation. The bottom line is that millions of Americans could indeed receive $1,800 or more through various government programs in 2025, but eligibility requirements, application processes, and timing vary significantly between different initiatives. Your best strategy is to stay informed about multiple programs, ensure your information is current with the IRS and other relevant agencies, and be prepared to act quickly when application periods open. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel for the latest updates on all government benefit programs, and check the description below for links to official government resources where you can verify your eligibility and apply for programs as they become available.